This is such a big thing, right?
Thank you.
Oh, come on, Jim. Good morning, Colin.
Morning.
Thank you very much for coming on the show. Fantastic. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for-
I wanted to be kind of businesslike.
Can I see the other girl?
Hello and welcome to Qatar's first sports podcast, In the Game. I'm your host, Steve Mackey, and we can't wait to introduce you to everything that is sports here in Qatar and afar. We're going to be bringing you personalities, company owners, institutions, individuals that are making a real difference. So, with us, enjoy the journey.
It's fun, man. Sports is fun.
Everyone, thank you for listening. Please send us your feedback on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And don't forget to review us on your favorite podcast app. Hello and welcome to In the Game, Qatar's first sports podcast. We have a special guest all the way from Los Angeles in the United States of America. Dr. Ayman, thank you very much for joining us, and thanks for coming to tell us all about your project.
Of course, it's a pleasure. And we're excited to be in Qatar Sports Tech Accelerator.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us. And it's going to be I didn't say your name because everybody will know what you're doing then, but would you like to introduce your product or your project?
Sure, absolutely. We're actually, excuse me. All right. So we're actually a group of physicians here in Los Angeles, and we're concerned mainly with contactless remote health monitoring. And contactless means like health markers that you can get from non-wearables, like facial expressions, the color of the skin of the face, or different other parameters that are getting these markers from non-wearables. So we have interest in remote health monitoring, and especially in sports medicine. One of our team members is a sports medicine doctor here at Carlin Jobs in Los Angeles. And we thought of providing this service for athletes and professional teams to quantify the emotion behind the game, because the emotions are very important as a driver for the game and how athletes actually bring out their talents. Also, facial expressions are important in identifying players that are playing through an injury and trying to help them recover from an injury.
And it's all, who was the drone enthusiast? There must have been somebody that was interested in a drone.
So the drone, the reason we came up with the drone, because most of the teams and most of the practicing happen on fields that are not equipped with cameras. So we actually utilize the drone during training and pre-game on the players and on the fans to get these emotional markers and try to help create these emotional maps that would improve the performance, physical and mental performance for the players, as well as identify the emotions on the fans to try to help them, or actually to gauge their engagement level with the game.
And your company is called Dronur?
Correct.
And who thought to themselves, so somebody must have been playing around with a drone one day and then looked up and said, you know what, I think this is a good idea.
Yeah, so we actually here using drones in healthcare is in the United States is a big deal. And we saw that in China as well, using the drone for healthcare in China because of COVID. So we actually came up with this idea about 2 years ago, and we patented in the United States, combining the drone activity with the contactless healthcare activity. And we submitted our patents, and now we're bringing it to market.
But you're doctors, you're physicians. What made you think to yourself, oh yeah, let's go and get a drone and we'll just put all this together?
We're always we're a group of very innovative doctors. Dr. Emmanuel Fambou, who's a cardiothoracic surgeon in New York, and he's an AI futurist. He actually published 2 books about artificial intelligence
Whoa.
in healthcare. I published a book about remote health monitoring. And also Dr. Carlos Iquilas from Carlin Jobs, who's very innovative as well. And he is actually the one who was identifying the problems in sports. And a year or 2 years ago, we were talking, and he was telling me the story of that he would do these surgeries on professional athletes, and then he would see them every 2 or 4 or 6 weeks. And the period in between, it's they don't communicate with him with videos or with like it would be very beneficial for him to be involved in their training. But you know, as a doctor, it's very hard to do that. So we tried to come up with ideas that would actually make it easier for the player. It would be in the background. It would make it easier for the player to share their progress while they're rehabbing or recouping from an injury. And we expanded on that idea to actually have these emotional markers from facial expressions. And we thought that that would make a huge difference in their performance physically and mentally.
I suppose you're the kind of with the AI. How far has AI come in these recent years? How far is it? How realistically can you do this type of stuff? Can you from all these facial expressions, you can tell all these factors?
Correct. So we're able. I mean, there's an accuracy component too, because AI, you have to build it, you know, over different layers. So we feel very confident with our accuracy, that it's over 70%. I think over the next few years, we're going to bring it up to about 90%. AI is in every little thing that we use. It's in your iPhone, it's in maps, it's just a lagger in healthcare and sports for some reason. But I think now it's just going to explode, and you know, and be in every aspect of sports and healthcare.
I went to a kind of it was a big event here. It was back in 2019. Where it was a big show that came on, and medical advancements. Your industry is not standing still. You're running forward into the future.
Correct. And that's actually, it's very exciting times for healthcare and sports, because for some reason, healthcare and sports were laggers in technology. And over the next 3 to 5 years, we're actually going to take the lead in technology, because it will just help electrify the whole industry, make it much easier, more enjoyable, present different aspects and angles to what we do as doctors or as like sports consumers. It will just affect every aspect of healthcare and sports over the next 3 to 5 years.
And I'm sorry to ask this question, because it's something that I want to get into, especially when we're on these subjects. AI is such a big thing. As you said, sometimes we don't even recognize that there's AI. As you said, in your phone, the way that it can kind of pick up different, it's just amazing, incredible. Do you think we'll ever get to a stage with the medical industry that the AI is just as good as a doctor?
I don't think so. I think you will always need the doctor. So there is human intelligence and machine intelligence. And I think you can't substitute one for the other. But for both working together, that's actually going to be exponentially beneficial. It will give more power to the doctor and more leverage to do things that he couldn't do before. Like, for example, if I'm a doctor and I order an MRI on a patient, I can read that MRI myself. It will take me like a minute, while a machine learning algorithm can read 1,000 MRIs in the same minute. And it can give me, so I can actually help more patients by utilizing AI But I don't think the AI will substitute the human intelligence. I think it will give leverage to humans in whatever field, in sports or healthcare, and will make them, or will assist them to make their job better, but it will never be a replacement for human intelligence and human talent. Because again, like sports is a great example of human talent, which is the intangible, right?
Yeah.
Like there are tangibles and there are intangibles. So when it comes to human talent, to emotions, to all these different things, it's very hard for AI to perform these jobs. AI can do very mechanical things, you know, like, for example, you know, like can take images and can analyze the images, can take voice and analyze the voice, but it doesn't have a mind of its own. It can't, it can give you correlations, but can't make sense of these correlations. You still need the human intelligence.
When did you doctors become entrepreneurs?
Yeah, we're always here in the United States, but doctors are always entrepreneurs. You know, we have our own practices, and that's a business by itself. You know, we're in the business of helping patients, and at the same time, we have to maintain a very healthy practice business-wise. So we actually, it's a balance for us, and we're used to it. You know, we always want to do both, having the business aspect of it and helping patients at the same time.
You spoke, I'm going to let you speak about your team, because I can see Sam and Rashid. What part do they play in the whole equation?
Yeah, actually, Sam was an ex-professional soccer player. He actually played semi-professionally in Sweden, and he has unbelievable passion for the game. We have not played soccer professionally ourselves, so Sam brings a different aspect to the whole team. He's also great in sales, so he's the you know, a major driver in our team. Rashid is our product manager and our designer, and he brings in the great designs, putting it all together. So I think we have a very good team when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to soccer, when it comes to software, and when it comes to AI as well.
Was that the hardest part when you first started this journey about finding the right team, or did it just all fit into place nicely?
You know, it all fit into place nicely. It just happened, I guess. You can call it providence. It just happened that we all met, like me and Emmanuel, we actually met in Jerusalem, out of all places. And from there, we actually hit it off, where we had the same passion and ideas about remote health monitoring, about contactless health, about sports, medicine. So it all fit together very seamlessly, I would say, like effortlessly.
You're making it sound all so simple. It's kind of, and I don't think it's going to be simple for 1 second.
It's not. It's absolutely not. But it has to be an enjoyable journey. You know, for any company to be successful, or for a product to be successful, it has to be very enjoyable. It has to come together seamlessly. The product has to sell itself. Otherwise, you know, it's going to be very difficult on everyone. But we really enjoy each other's company. We enjoy bouncing ideas off of each other. We enjoy really helping other people. And that is the whole goal, is to make the world a better place. And if an athlete is trying to perform at a higher level physically and mentally, we'd be able to help them.
It's with all those problems that you hear from, I do a podcast here in Qatar, and I get to interview some really great people. And they say that mental health has got a lot to play in sport at the moment, because it's a lot of people say it's a lot of this is in the mind. So if you can identify when they're on form or off form, or pick up facial expressions where you know that they're not at their peak, that's a hell of an advantage.
Correct. Especially like even when they're playing the game, like think of it, a soccer player would miss a shot on the goal, and for the next 3 or 5 minutes, they're off their game. And the coach is just standing at the line, at the sideline, not aware of what's happening emotionally with that player. That is a minus. That is like a negative influence on all the players. So by identifying these emotional vulnerabilities for the players and for the team as a whole, pre-game and during the game, would actually give, I think, a winning advantage to coaches and teams. And you can see that in big teams like Barcelona or Real Madrid. There are two axes only for winning. One is performance, which are the physical metrics, and the other axis is trust. So without that trust within the team, you're not going to have good flow of talent and good flow of coaching. So we try to improve that trust between the team members, between the coach and the team, the rest of the team. And by establishing that trust, you'll have a much better flow of talent, a much better flow of coaching, and winning at the end, because the goal is winning, right? The goal is to perform at the highest level and win games. And that's what we're aiming to help teams and help players do.
Did you, and I notice on the money that you've raised for your startup so far is $1 million US.
Correct. So we raised $1 million in cash and in kind from our sister company, IQ Technologies Inc., which does remote health monitoring and for all the other aspects other than sports medicine. So, medicine is like 24 subspecialties. Sports medicine is one of them. So IQ is concerned with remote health monitoring for all the other aspects of healthcare, but we carved out sports medicine for Dronur.
Is this all? How long ago did this journey start, if you don't mind me asking?
We started about 3 years ago.
And have you trialed it yet? Have you been using it?
We're actually starting to pilot it now. So that's the goal of coming to Qatar, is to pilot it in Qatar. We're starting to pilot it here in the United States with UC Irvine Soccer. So we're just done actually with our pipeline. So the front end and the back end and all the software and all the AI algorithms. And so we're just done with our pipeline, and we're ready for the demo on December 14th with QST. So we're ready to demo our product, and we're ready to partner with people to pilot this with, whether in Qatar or the United States.
Who's gonna get to fly it first?
Not me, I tell you. I'm a doctor, so I'm not a drone flyer. But we actually, believe it or not, there are drone pilots here in the United States, and they make very good money. They make almost $70,000 a year just doing this, being a drone pilot. Yeah, wow. So we utilize drones for real estate, in the real estate market. Like if you're selling your home or something, you get real estate drone pilots to take photos of your home from every aspect. Of course, for recreational, we have actually competitions on ESPN for drones now. So it's exploding. So we thought like having the drones with the contactless healthcare would be a very good angle and be very helpful.
And the next questions that I'm going to ask you, because you've got to be supremely confident in the job that you do. But going into business is must be totally different. I know that you said you've got your other business, but when it must have been. Did you ever feel daunted by the what you were trying to achieve?
We did, but at the same time, bringing a product to market, a product has to sell itself. The product has to be very intuitive. There's a need for it. It would be a perfect market fit, perfect timing. you know, we understand that it's daunting being in business, and we understand the ups and downs of business. But at the same time, there are very basic business practices that we follow. And again, I don't have an MBA myself, but Dr. Emmanuel Fambu has an MBA from Cornell in addition to his MD degree. So we follow very basic good business practices, and then the chip may fall wherever they may fall. You know, we're trying to bring a good product to market. If there's good use for it and people enjoy using it, I think it will catch on fire and everyone will love it. If not, we'll tweak it and work with our business partners to make sure that we give them what they want, and then we'll go from there.
It's you must be a delight to work for. Are you a difficult boss, or are you one of you sound perfect?
Actually, again, it's all about the enjoyment of the journey and having fun and enjoying what you're doing. So we really, all of us, we enjoy what we're doing, and we're trying to help people. I mean, that's in the very core of what we're trying to do. You know, we're trying to help athletes, we're trying to help teams, we're trying to bring out the best in people. And that's what we're trying to do. And
fantastic.
Hopefully.
Fantastic, unbelievable. It's good on you, because you could have quite easily, and I know that you're a accomplished doctor.
Correct.
You didn't have to do this, really, did you? It's something that you're doing for the, as you said, the love, and I want that to come over, because I want people and people in the sports tech industry to realize that if you love something that much, go and do it.
Correct. Absolutely. You just have to try, you know, and give it your best shot. And that's what we're doing. So.
I don't want to talk about negatives, but again, I'm thinking about people that are out there that kind of look at it and say, well, it all went well. Was there any doubt? Not doubts. Doubts is a wrong word. Was there anything that you had to overcome in this whole 3-year process?
There is, but you know, when we had our ideas, we went to very trusted friends of ours, and they said, they advised us to get the US patents in first, start working on the software aspects of it, and then create the business model afterwards. And that's what we did. So we got the patent protection, we worked on the software, and now we're launching the business. So we understand the challenges that are going to face us, but you know, again, it's we'll do our very best. We're dedicated, and we want to do something good. So
to patent something, and I've had this before, to patent something that's covered around the globe, that must have took over a year, more than.
Yeah. So the process works where you submit your patents, and that's like first to file, basically. So once you file it, you get an advantage over everyone else. So we submitted over 16 patents, and 4 of them were granted already. And I mean, the US market is the biggest market, so we feel confident that we have protection in the US market. We have other patents that are issued worldwide in certain countries, like Qatar, actually, United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia, as well as Mexico and Canada. So our number one concern or focus is the United States, because it's the biggest market for sports and healthcare. But we have some international protection as well.
And but it's not an easy journey, right? It's not an easy journey, but it looks like I'm excited for you. I've got to say, I'm just so excited for you, because, and again, I'm just looking at that again on my left-hand side. I've got your fact sheet open, and it's like it's not the technology that's going into this is not easy technology. Has it been such a massive curve, a learning curve for you?
Correct, it does. And actually, because it's something very new, we're learning a lot, you know, like we're learning how athletes, for example, use their emotions to bring out the best of their talent. It's not easy. It's not easy for the athletes, and being able to identify that is humbling for us, you know. Some athletes use anger to bring their talent out. Some athletes use you know, other emotions to bring it up. And actually, athletes are different. professional athletes bring out their talents differently. And this is something amazing for us that we're able to see that. Also, athletes, when they play through their injuries, that is something that's concerning for us because we're doctors. And we want to help athletes, get better physically and emotionally and learn how to do things in a better way.
And this is going to save people's careers, because you know what athletes are like. They're going to be trying to play through the pain barrier, right? Because that's what their brain is telling them, and they think that this is the right thing to do when people's careers are ended.
Correct. And that actually happened with Sam Mahmood, one of our team members, the ex-professional soccer player. And that's why it's so personal for him. And we make it personal for us as well, that we really we're trying to help, and we're trying to preserve these careers and make them enjoy their professional career longer, enjoy what they're doing, and for the fans as well, to enjoy their presence on the field.
You're doing this for sportsmen, but this drone is going to have an immense amount of uses. Not just for football, but for all sports, when you think about it.
Correct.
And
yes, our platform is universal for all sports. So, but we're starting with soccer because of Qatar and the World Cup, and we thought that would be a good place to debut our technology. But yes, it has applications in all sports across multiple sports.
But could it be used as first responders? Could it be used if in difficult areas?
Correct. We do have applications for it through IQ Technologies, the merging of contactless health and the drone. We actually utilize it for other areas in healthcare. So, and go ahead.
No, it's just fantastic listening to you. It's kind of, I'm sure you could have had an easier life than take on a project of this size, but this is just testament to you guys and your team, because this is going to be something special.
Yeah, I mean, we enjoy what we do. I would love for people who would want to join us to join in the fun. We're very happy to have similar-minded people to join us, and just carry the ball forward and make it happen, and make the world a better place.
It's tremendous what you're doing. Absolutely tremendous. Why QST? How did you hear about them?
Yeah, so we actually we had a meeting here with Startup Bootcamp in Los Angeles. I think they had a couple of guys that were here in Los Angeles, and we met with them, and we wanted to do something with QST. So we waited actually till our technology was good enough to present, and we applied for cohort 3 for QST. We thought, being in Qatar, it's just amazing what's happening in Qatar and what they're trying to do with sports tech, and giving it as a national priority, that it would be, the first industry, they're growing it to be an industry equivalent to natural gas or oil industry, and they're pouring in all that money into sports tech. So it's the premier spot in the whole world for sports tech technology, and it's just a big sandbox. A sports tech company can come and play in that sandbox and improve the technology, and then turn around and sell it back to the whole world. So that what was very interesting for us, is to be part of that sandbox, the sports tech sandbox.
So I've heard that today I heard the visas are all waiting for you all. Does that mean that we're going to see you in Qatar soon?
Well, yeah, I'm not counting myself. Dr. Emmanuel Fambu is coming to Qatar. We're most probably just out, Thanksgiving is right around the corner. It's on Thursday. So after Thanksgiving, I think he has his flight plans, and he's going to be there in person in Qatar. He's much more interesting than me. I'm the boring part of it.
I don't believe that for 1 second. And the good thing, and going back to QST, I think that once you're once you're an entrepreneur and you're a professional and you just want to help people and you want to keep on pushing, I think you've summed up with the way that you are and your team are. I think you summed them up. They want to make a difference, and this is going from the top of the country down to everybody at QST. It's an incredible team, and they're going to make a real difference with you guys without a shadow of a doubt. These technical startups are just mind-blowing.
Yeah, I mean, we're very happy with our cooperation with QST and all the mentors actually that they introduced us to. And it's just what's happening in Qatar is such a positive energy, and such it's reflecting on everyone that's part of the team. Again, from the top, from the government, from the royal family, from the investors, from even like the people walking on the street. So we feel the energy. We're happy to be part of this energy, and we just want good things to happen for everyone.
Dr. Ayman, please pass my regards on to your team. You've got something special here. Congratulations. I know it's a long way to go. I know it's a long way to go, but you've got the spirit. And you just look at, when me personally see somebody that smiles and that knows that they're pushing forward to some better good in the world, I take my hat off to people like yourself. It's an incredible story. I wish you all the luck in the journey going forward. And it's a pity I don't see, but I will see your partner, I'm sure.
Sure, absolutely. It's a real pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a joy. Everybody, I hope you've enjoyed it as much as me. Can you believe all this tech that's coming into the world right now, and for the better? These things are going to be incredible. It's starting in sports. It's going to be used all over the medical industry, especially getting out to those remote locations, to people that really have big problems. So congratulations again. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And thanks everybody for listening.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much indeed. Everyone, thank you for listening. Please send us your feedback on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And don't forget to review us on your favorite podcast app.